Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is I'm watching Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Was season 1, episode 2,
Graveyard Rats.
I really wish we could react to these because the face journey I went on with this one. I didn't like it. It was good.
It was good.
It was very good. I hated it.
Disgusting.
Hated it.
Gross, gross, gross.
God. It was about a grave robber who was in debt. I'm noticing a theme.
Yeah. Money will make you do some shit.
Yeah. Do we know why? Don't rob graves.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's a thing anymore.
No, I don't think it's really a thing anymore either, but also because most coffins are like, they have like a lock on them.
Well,
now.
And so many people are cremated now. And also, there's actually reasons why there was some grave robbing. Some of it was scientific.
Oh, yes.
Medical.
Yeah. I do, though. It's like a victimless crime.
I mean, I guess kind of. Although I did like the little model, one of several he gave in the not monologue, but he gave in the beginning to the two
the other grave robbers
who were kind of funny. They were kind of cute, and he was like, he was like, "What do you have to say for yourself?" And he was like, "We ain't got much smarts," or something to that effect. They were Cockney, even though they were in Salem.
Like we're not very smart. That we don't know any better.
It was funny, but it was so. The director was Vincenzo Natali, who directed Cube.
I guess
that's what Will said.
Yeah.
If you want to be cool in film school, know what that movie is,
or don't, and forge your own path.
Remember, there was like that group of kids that was like dudes that was making fun of me at a bar because this is my favorite movie was Peter Pan, and I was like, "What do you want? Equilibrium, pie? I can go into like But no, it was fine. It's cool. It's certainly mid 2000s street cred. David Hewlett was Mason. He did a really good job. He was doing this like a Christmas Carol thing. Were you getting that vibe?
I really was getting like a kind of Bob Cratchit Christmas vibe. Yeah.
Well, he loved talking, loved monologuing, because there was a scene where he was talking to Hans Overfist, the man.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Bruiser. That guy was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And he said so many words.
Yeah.
Like so many words, and then the amount of words, and then some of the specific words he was saying, I was just like, ugh. And he was really like a self-manifester.
Yeah.
Like everything he said.
He self-fulfilled that prophecy 100%.
So yeah, he was digging graves to find jewels and teeth and stuff, gold again. Several themes recurring to try and pay off his debts. And he got it in his head that the rats were stealing the corpses.
I mean, he was right.
Again, though, did he do that?
Did he manifest that?
Yeah, I don't know. This one, more so than the previous one, in large chunks of it, played for comedy for me in a very enjoyable, like in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was just like silly. It was like a little silly and a little slapsticky, and I kept on waiting for like, you know, that Jim Carrey SNL where they're like the grave spirits kind of thing.
Jim and Phil. Phil and Lim.
Something like that.
Paul and Phil. Phil and Paul. Can you guess who's who? We'll never tell. Yes, we will. I'm Paul. I guess I'm Phil. Now you know who's Paul, who's Phil. Paul and Phil. Paul Cone Phil. Shut up! Shut up! Now, just shut up!
I cannot tell you how funny I found the shots of the rats taking the corpse.
Yeah.
Because you can only really kind of hear them. And you just see the corpse is sort of like...
Yeah.
And it was always just out of reach.
Yeah.
It was very funny to me. So he had happened upon a corpse of a wealthy merchant.
In the morgue with morgue worker Dooley, played by Julian Rishings, who was just in Umbrella Academy. He was the like front desk worker. That was like the one of the only parts we liked about that season.
And it was a wealthy merchant who had lots of swag, and so he was really...
lots of gold teeth. He was going to be buried with all his metal, like military medals, and a fancy saber.
So he was really hellbent. He also seemed... Mason seemed a tad insincere I don't know. I feel like that can't be the first time he's made that deal with God.
No. or the mourning family.
Yeah, he did have a real someone shit on the coats moment with the family. But no, I'm saying it's like this, like he went out and celebrated and got hammered just on the prospect that maybe he could grave rob and pay off these debts. I don't know. He was an enjoyable
what you get for going underground after a rat queen while you're hungover.
And he also, but he also warned about like the dark church and the orgies and all that stuff. And I don't know. He was an enjoyable enough lead. Like I enjoyed my time that we spent with him because, like I said, I found him funny. However, there was no love lost.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Kind of like the first one. The more I think about it, the more I'm actually a little bit impressed by all of the payoffs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it turns out that the rats were stealing corpses, but we don't know why. Again, it doesn't matter.
For eating.
Very Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. I mean, presumably for eating, because there was just then also a pile of skeletons down there.
Sure, that can't be good.
No.
For them. I actually kind of like rats. I'm a little bit of a rat apologist. I mean, obviously, I don't like disgusting vermin, but I think I also like bats. I think that they get bad.
I like mice.
What is the difference?
They're littler.
Yeah.
And they're cuter, and they hold their paws like this.
There was a rat queen. I wanted a rat king. We did not get it.
Well, a rat king is a very specific, disgusting thing, but we got like queen of the rats.
Disgusting in a different way. I cannot put into words how unnerving I found it the 2 or 3 times she moved quickly. All of this was very practical, and there was a handful of digital shots that were good, that aided in the practicality.
Yeah.
And it was actually very funny. And now that I think about it, it had to kind of been on purpose, because when you're sort of like, when you're in the thick of it and you're sort of kind of rooting for him, and he's going through this tunnel and he's kind of, because he's big, he's having to really like crawl and it's cumbersome and
he shoots himself in the toe, which can't be helpful.
And meanwhile, the rats are like going around him and they're like, Poo! And I was like, well, the tunnel's big for them, so they're not having to deal with all that. And it was just funny that I made a mental note at how fast the rats could move versus him.
Yeah.
And then not a minute later, we cut to the rat queen, like rocketing through that tunnel. And it I was like, ah!
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, so then he ended up in a black church or something. I can't imagine how that got down there.
I don't know.
Who built that?
One of these actors is credited as the widow's son also, which is the only reason I know that is because there's a whole run on Bones where there's like a widow's son and it's like a serial killer thing that's like generational. And I just was like, I don't want it. I don't want any of that.
Well, I mean, I think the widow's son was the literal widow's son.
Oh. That's less exciting. I thought it was the corpse.
I thought
it was the corpse with the weird medallion.
I prefer change of proof.
My bad.
Prefer your interpretation.
You are certainly correct. I just saw Widow's Son and I was like, that's a creepy, like, culty thing.
No, I'm saying I prefer your version.
Yeah. You are correct, though, because then there's just...
The next one is the widow. Bridget Robertson.
Yeah. Well, I gave you an upgrade, Corey Bertrand.
So yeah, but there was a like corpse down there, and
would you consider that? I guess just corpse, Kevin Kepi.
Probably. It struck me as feminine, but it was really unnerving in that way that Guillermo del Toro's really good at, because it was the way that Guillermo del Toro can infuse joy with fear, like, because I was scared, but also having fun.
Yeah. And
I think that that's such a fine line.
Absolutely.
To be able to laugh at something that is scaring you. Because the way it was like, mine! I was like, this is so weird. I think, like, it was funny. It was funny to me in all the right ways. I also love, because we've got Paige Foskett as Lady of the Evening.
Yeah.
And it was not 30 seconds before that, I was like, this one's missing a dame, like a broad. And then we got her. And I mean, she had 2 lines, but still, it was just enough edge to give me that like oomph. But yeah, so he's being chased by the corpse that wants its Cthulhu necklace back.
Yeah.
There's just so many things where I'm like, take like the jewels, but leave the occult necklace. Like, or just give it back. Maybe it would open the door for you.
Yeah.
I've seen Indiana Jones movies.
That I said at the beginning that grave robbing is like a relatively victimless crime. Like, it sucks and it's mean, don't do it. But like, they're dead already.
This is weird for us to take a pro grave robbing.
But here's the thing, is like, don't take a flashy medallion from a corpse that you found in a black church underground in the lair of the Rat Queen.
And that's after he fell. Like, God knows how far.
That's the necklace you for sure don't take.
That's another thing that I'm thinking of it just now. I think it's kind of hilarious that those are two separate entities. Like the Rat Queen and the corpse were unconnected.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's very funny to me.
Yeah.
And so he squashes the Rat Queen. That was disgusting and hilarious.
I did like that payoff though, because once it was like a vision or a dream where he pulled and all the rats fell from the ceiling, but he kept on just like yanking stuff from the ceiling of wherever he was. And so it was like this time finally it like did something good for him, which I thought was just like a nice come around.
I thought it was funny when he poked himself in the eye with the twig.
Yeah.
He had a real, like, he was kind of like a third-tier Simpsons character.
Sure.
Like Gil, is it like, oh, Gil, you done it again? Like, he had that kind of quality to him. I don't know. But yeah, so he squashed the Rat Queen and deflected the corpse, although it still wanted its necklace back.
It did, sure did.
And he could see a light, which anyone who's seen The Descent knows where this story is heading. Although our conclusion was correct, but our work was like, it ended up poorly for him. He died, but I was very impressed by how they did it. And that's another thing, actually, I was going to say, these are well done. Good storytelling. Very good storytelling.
Also, this one was only 38 minutes. To be able to do something that was admittedly disgusting, but like such a successful story in only 38 minutes.
Because the moment
I loved it.
The moment where he's in the plot and the rats are taking the merchant.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, there's just no way. Like, there's just nothing that could ever put me into that.
No, nothing would ever tempt me.
But then they did show his mental, like, his fear is that if he goes back empty-handed, that they're gonna lock him in a coffin and bury him alive.
Bury him alive in a box.
And so it's like, I was like, I needed that.
Yeah.
And it really did a good job of propelling the story forward. And also self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Because the light he can see is his flashlight reflecting off of the, like, emblem in another coffin that the rats had already raided. So he just finds himself locked in another coffin. And then he gets swarmed by rats and they eat inside him from behind, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
But that only happens after the other grave robbers open him up.
Yeah, I'm a little sad they didn't get any of their any of the swag.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't seem to learn their lesson the first time with him, so maybe they don't deserve that payday,
though, blessedly, they didn't take the Cthulhu pendant, so.
That's true. I feel like it's still, I don't know, these are ending open-ended, because I'm like, that needs to go back to that corpse.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed. I'm very, like I said, my point and my goal here is not to, shit on or bash other things, but we just slogged through season 2 of American Horror Stories. We enjoyed a couple of them,
yeah.
But it's interesting and refreshing to see this concept done well. And I don't know how expensive this is, but it looks great.
It looks amazing, yeah.
So I am thoroughly impressed. We got 3 more nights of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
1 + 2 + 2 + 1. So, we'll be back, and we'll be back.